that, let's kickstart taking all of your stock-related queries. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the number that is flashing on the top of your screens as well as on your screens. Do remember to write to us with your buy price in mind for the stocks that you're already invested in. For the ones that you hope to be investing in, mention the time horizon that you have in mind so that we can help you better. But with that, let's kickstart taking all of your stock-related queries. And for that, let's welcome our guests as well. Shahina Mukadam, who's an independent analyst, is joining us. Along with her, we also have Hemen Kapadia, who's also joining us, and he's the technical associate as well when it comes to the queries. Let's also kickstart taking all of your stock-related queries. In fact, the first one that we have is coming in from Tom's Verghese. Hemen, I'm going to take it across to you because this is coming in on NMDC, 600 shares. Buy price is 82 rupees. What's your take when it comes to this one? Because he's looking at an outlook of just about 6 months. Should he hold or exit? What is your take?
Thank you, Shriyanji. Thank you for having me on the show. Always a pleasure. I think this 6-month time frame is a slightly touch and go scenario. I believe metals have done well. It's the sales and the Hindustan Coppers and the NMDCs which haven't done well vis-a-vis JSPL or a Tata Steel. Long story short, 70 is important resistance. It closes above 70, then it gets very close to our investors' purchase price. So that's a time to exit for the time being. Very clear to 6 months horizon. If it's 2 years hold, if it's 6 months, like has been clearly specified, sell around 80, 82. I believe we should, it's possibly we're going to be getting there in the next month or so.
Okay, so thanks Hemen for that view coming in, and morning to you, both of you, Shahina and Hemen. Shahina, coming to you now. Our next query is coming in from our viewer, Mr. BK Call, who's writing to us about BDL. Bharat Dynamics is the stock in focus, holds 250 shares at a buy price of 13.35. He's asking about what you are making of this stock and how is it looking like right now. Should he continue to hold?
Yeah, I think he should continue to hold. It's a very good bounce. It seems in business also, I think there are a lot of orders that are coming in for the defense segment, so it's a hold.
Well, that's the view on Bharat Dynamics. Hemen, coming to you for this one as well. We seem to have, so we'll come back to you, Hemen. And our viewer has also requested a medium-term target for BDL. What are you spotting on the charts? Are the charts looking healthy enough for BDL for our viewer to continue holding it, holding the stock for the medium term?
Oh, I think a medium-term definition, according to the viewer, could be 6 months. For me, it would be a year or more. Having said that, PSUs, defense, all have corrected for months. I believe the longer term picture is positive, but keeping a medium term view in mind, then it's a sell on bounce because we've entered a correction of a greater degree. Currently, we are in an intermediate uptrend. Upside on the cards, so sell on bounce because of the medium term, long term hold.
Coming in as far as Bharat Dynamics then is concerned, the next one that we have is coming in on IOC. We do have Mohit who's writing to us from Ludhiana. Hemen wants to know about IOC. He's purchased the shares in 2022, back in 2022. Wants to know the time horizon is 2 years. Wants to know what he should be doing when it comes to this counter.
He should hold. There's a good dividend yield also on the stock. Having said that, we've had a deep correction, 190 to 110. First is almost over. The bigger picture still remains positive despite this sell-off. So I know it's a slow-moving stock, but if he has the patience, I think he can still hold for 2 years.
That's the take. Hold IOC for a couple of years is the take coming in. Shahina, coming to you. Our next query is coming in from a viewer, Vaishnavi, who's writing to us from Chennai. She's talking about Garden Reach Shipbuilders is the stock that she holds. She's got it 8 months ago. She holds 35 stocks at a buy price of 1,813 rupees per share. She's asking what should be her stance going ahead. Should she continue to hold, or what would the strategy be when it comes to Garden Reach?
The strategy should be to continue to work Garden Reach because they are, again, they're in defense. They are getting a lot of orders. Shipping orders are doing well actually for them. And I would believe that she should continue to hold. If she's holding for even the medium term, she can look close to a target of about 2,000 if she's looking for a 1 year holding target.
Coming in as far as Garden Reach then is concerned, the next one that we actually have, Hemen, is coming in from Nikhil Sharma, who's writing to us from Mumbai, wants to know about Hindustan Zinc. 100 shares, buy price is 454 rupees, wants to know what he should be doing. at this point from a dividend perspective when it comes to Hindustan Zinc?
Okay, as you can see, I think the dividend question should be targeted, could be transferred to Shahina. But from a more technical point of view, oversold, very strong support at 380, downside limited, set for a recovery. I say we're looking at least a 10-15% upside from here, assuming the market holds. So technically looks good. Dividend should, I think, be tossed to Shahina.
Okay, so we'll just come back to you, Shahina. On that note, our viewer also wants to know from a dividend point of view, what should be the stance on Hindustan Zinc? What's your view over there?
Dividend paying stock. If you see the average, in August 24, they had declared 19 rupees. So the management has indicated that it is going to continue to pay good dividends. So if you're looking for dividends, you could continue to hold. The dividend yield is as high as almost 3%. So it's a good dividend stock. Even otherwise, I think zinc prices, metal prices, so it will remain volatile because we have the tariffs that the US government is announcing on various countries as well as metals. So we have to wait and watch. But as of now, it's a hold. It's a hold, and you can look for a bounce.
That's the take coming in for Hindustan Zinc from both a fundamental perspective as far as the dividend is also concerned. That's the take coming in. But the next one that we have, Hemen, is coming from Thomas George, who's writing to us from Kochi, wants to know about Federal Bank. He's holding on to 5,000 shares at a buy price of 150 rupees, wants to know what he should do now.
Well, Shriyanti, frankly speaking, Federal is good, one of the technically better looking banks. Okay, we walked in a correction in the rest of the market, supported 175, resistance 198, 208, and 216. A decent, if not a good hold from a medium to longer term point of view. If it's a short term view, you can book profits at around 206, otherwise, it's a clear hold.
Okay, so Federal Bank, that's the take coming in. Remember, Federal Bank was in focus on the back of a couple of bulk and block deals that we've seen yesterday as well. But on that note, we'll slip into a very short break. Viewers, that's the number that's flashing on top of your screen. Please continue writing to us and we'll begin one. Hi there, welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now. Let's keep it going with all of your viewer queries. And Shahina, coming to you for our next query. We don't, so that's Mr. Rohit who's written to us. They've got HUDCO. They're holding 1,000 shares of HUDCO at a price of 285. They're asking if now would be a good time to average for the long term. So time horizon is long term. HUDCO is at 202. They've got at 285. They are asking if A, holding strategy, the strategy to hold is prudent, and B, if so, then should they just start averaging their holding now?
It makes sense to hold because in housing companies, this is a government company, valuation-wise, it is much more reasonable than the rest. And you can hold, and if you want to average, it's better to average close to about 190 odd levels, and then you could hold for good gains over the medium to longer term.
And that's the take coming in as far as HUDCO is concerned. Fairly valued, that's the take coming in for HUDCO. The next one that we have, Hemen, is coming in from Sanjeev Bhatia, who's writing to us from Mumbai. Wants to know about Canfin Homes, 100 shares. Buy price is 780 rupees. What do you have in mind?
Well, some patience is needed. Deep correction is going to take some time for this to play out. The longer term picture has taken a hit. So if it's a medium term outlook, it's a sell on bounce. If it's a longer term outlook hold, a close above 700 would mean that the price is going to gravitate close to its cost price. That's when you can take some action. I believe close above 700 in the next week or two is a distinct possibility.
Okay, so that's the outlook on Canfin Homes. Shahina, coming to you once again. A stock from the FMCG basket. Our viewer, Mr. Subrata Mukherjee from Kolkata, is writing to us, and the stock in question is ITC. They're holding ITC at 428 rupees per share and asking your advice for a 1 year investment, and also asking that now that they've bought at 428, stock is at 408. Is this now a good time to accumulate some more of ITC, and what's the 1 year view when it comes to this stock?
The question's for me?
Yes, Shahina, the question is for you.
ITC, yes, you can actually hold. In terms of valuation, after this correction, ITC is actually looking good. We saw this correction post the demerger of ITC Hotels, which of course is one of my top picks in the hotel segment. And ITC, in terms of growth, shipbuilding business is doing well. FMCG is now picking up both in rural as well as in urban. So ITC looks like a good bet if you're holding it for the medium to long term.
To take as far as ITC then is concerned, the next one is coming in from Ghosh Dada, who's writing to us from Delhi, who's a regular viewer of the show. Firstly, he's congratulating you both for the insights that you've given, because he's saying that he's been listening to you guys for the last few years. Wants to know about IRDA, Hemen. He's not mentioned the buy price or the quantity, but he's mentioned that he's booked some profits. Wants to know if he should be adding more at this point.
Firstly, sincere thanks for the kind words from our viewer. And thanks to ET Now for giving us a platform to express our views. Okay, as far as IRDA is concerned, Shreyanshi, I think there is a little bit of paucity of data that I'm facing, in the sense I can't take a medium-term view. Short-term view, yes, it's been a few months. Sorry, it's not been a few months. It's been quite a few months, but not enough to take a longer-term view. Long story short, support at 140. Downside appears limited. Doesn't look very exciting though. In the near term, we are looking at a recovery, but the bigger picture still remains a bit iffy. So I would say wait a bit, and if you're going to hold, you'll have to have a lot of patience.
Okay, so that's the take on IRDA. Shahina, coming to you now. We have our viewer Neha who's writing to us from Bangalore about Manappuram Finance. It's a stock that we have been hearing about for the last week or so now. She's making a 20% profit in Manappuram Finance. Please suggest what she should be doing. Her outlook is very short, rather. She's only asking what should be done for the next 3 months. So, in fact, you know what? I'm going to take this query to Hemen because she's asking for a 3-month target. So, what's your view on Manappuram Finance? She's already sitting on the 20% profit. Should she hold, buy more, or book the profit and exit now?
Well, frankly speaking, Snehi, that's a Hobson's choice. Having said that, I would suggest she keep a protect profit at 225, because if it closes below 225, that means it is weakening, since it's a 3-month horizon. All-time highs range between 25 and 30 to 25 and 30. So as long as it remains above 230, she's safe. We are in an established short, medium, and longer term uptrend. I believe a further upside is on the way, but we need a close about 246. So keep this 225 level to protect the profit, otherwise hold as of now.
That's a take coming in. As far as Manappuram Finance then is concerned, Shahina, the next one that I have is coming in from a viewer who has not mentioned their name, wants to know about a couple of counters, 3 counters actually to be precise. Reliance Industries, Shriram Finance, as well as Tata Chemicals. What's your take when it comes to all 3 of these?
I would prefer if she goes in for Reliance Industries, because over the next 1 year, we are hearing that Chico is going to be listed separately. And to an extent, Reliance, to an extent, is not really dependent on what happens in the global scenario from those panels. Well, of course, the oil and gas will be impacted to some extent. In terms of Tata Chemicals, I think it's an avoid as of now. Because it is definitely, it's a global industry, chemicals, and there's likely to be a bit of volatility in terms of valuation. Also, I think it is expensive. So between the two, I would prefer to Reliance.
The pick coming in, Reliance is the preferred pick, and I'm going to come back to you, Shahina, because the next query is slightly fundamental in nature. A viewer Vinod is writing to us from Gurgaon. He holds 600 shares of Zomato at 117 and 600 of RBL at 180. He's a long-term investor. Wants your view on both of these companies, Zomato and RBL, and also Zomato. Shahina, big day for Zomato tomorrow, is going to be included in Nifty 50. So big moves and big inflows are also expected for Zomato. Fundamentally, how does this stock look? Because today you have a brokerage note that's cut the target price and has changed its rating also on this stock. So one side you have bullish news flow, tomorrow bearish news flow. Tomorrow you have big moves coming in for Zomato. How would you play this stock going ahead? Let's say at least for the next 1 year. What's your view on Zomato and also RBL Bank?
I would say both the stocks look like you could hold for the longer term. Zomato, of course, they're doing pretty well in their food delivery. In terms of Blinkit, the expansion is creating some pressure on their balance sheet. But overall, I think, of course, valuation, it is expensive. But it is, I think, in its class, the best to hold for the long-term investor. So you could hold. RBL Bank, I would hold, just because after the correction, the stock has become pretty attractive. I mean, in terms of valuation, it is just 0.7 price to book. So to that extent, I think, the worst may be behind it, and you could hold and maybe keep a stop loss. You could keep a stop loss somewhere close to about 170 type of levels, and then hold for the medium term.
Take coming in as far as RBL Bank then is concerned. The next one that we actually have is coming in from Somashekhar, writing to us from Bengaluru. Hemen wants to know about a couple of banking stocks. Now, Kotak Mahindra Bank, 29 shares at a buy price of 1,830 rupees, and even SBI, 300 shares, buy price is 730 rupees. Now, when you take a look at Kotak Mahindra Bank, it's had the last 3 months, last 6 months have been fairly decent when it comes to this particular counter. What is your take when it comes to both of these stocks, in fact?
I think I would be more positive on Kotak Mahindra Bank simply because this stock has done nothing for the last 4 years. A rampaging bull market, 4.5 years. Kotak Bank, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, and SRF. Okay, slightly off the cuff, but 4 stocks which have done nothing for the last 4 years are waking up now. So Kotak all-time high is 2250. There's resistance at 2200. I believe if a quality stock like this wakes up after 4.5 years, we are going to go to 24,2500. So it's a very clear hold, no doubt about it. And if you look at State Bank of India, big daddy of all PSU banks, even you look at the move of the bank nifty, I believe it's shown relative strength. So yes, if you have a slightly longer term point of view, very clear hold on SBI, and in fact a much stronger hold on Kotak.
That's the take coming in on SBI as well as Kotak Mahindra Bank. On that note, we'll slip into a very short break. Viewers, keep them queries coming and we'll be addressing them once again with our experts on the other side. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Let's continue taking all of your stock-related queries. In fact, the next one that we have, Hemen, is coming in from Subramaniam, who's writing to us from Sikandrabad. Wants to know about BSE 33 shares. Buy price was 5,100 rupees thereabout. Should he be holding on or selling for the next 3 months then?
Okay, as of now, it's a hold, Shreyanti. There is a virtual roadblock at 4,900. If 4,900 gets taken out, then I think he can sell near his cost. The stock has had a phenomenal move. We walked into a correction of a greater degree. I don't think 5,000 can be taken out very easily. If it does, it's a hold. I mean, I think you can just keep an eye on the 5,000 level. I think we could come closer to that a couple of weeks down the line. 5,000 it handles, closes, hold, doesn't sell.
BSC and Shahina, coming to you, our viewer Ms. Sarma G is writing to us and they hold Tejas Networks, if not specified anything. So this is a prospective outlook. They just want to get a sense on the medium and long term outlook for Tejas Networks. Fundamentally, what are you making of this company?
Actually, if you saw the last couple of quarters, the numbers were pretty disappointing. Now going forward, I think a lot of the difficult times that the companies had is behind it. And going forward, the order book is good and they look like they're going to have a better performance in the FY26. The promoter group, of course, in the Tatas, which I believe is the strength. So from current levels, I would suggest that you could continue to hold. But if you are looking for the shorter term, I think the weakness will continue over in the next couple of months. You can look to average somewhere close to about 540, 550 type of levels if you are holding for the longer term.
Coming in as far as Tejas Networks then is concerned, Hemen, I'll come to you with the next one because we do have Gautam who's writing to us from Mumbai about Exide Industries, 500 shares. Buy price was 500 rupees thereabout. Wants to know what your take is. Firstly, I'll take it across to you and then maybe I can get Shahina's view because he does want a combined view.
Okay, 620, 330, become half. Firstly, not much to lose, not just because it's become half. Very strong congestion area and downside appears limited. Stock is oversold, has posted a short-term bottom. Volume today is higher than the last 2 months. There is a intermediate, medium-term base being formed. Hold as of now. I think the longer-term chart could take time to play out, but medium-term chart is clearly on the mend positively. 410 seems to be possible. Above 410, things should start looking even better. So hold as of now. Hardly anything to lose. Prolonged decline. A turnaround is on the way.
Around on the mend for Exide industry. Shahina, going to come back to you with this particular query. And Exide, our viewer wants a fundamental view as well. You know, Exide and Amara Raja both are in news today on the back of that lithium ion for batteries being included in core components by the government now. So fundamentally, that stock is this going on for it. But tell us, if you had to pick between Exide and Amara Raja, what would be your pick, and what's your view on Exide also?
Exide, yeah, both of the stocks, I think if you want to add, it's better to add at dips or new declines. If you saw the last quarter numbers, I think they were pretty, like talking for Exide specifically, they were a bit disappointment in terms of, it was like more or less a flat performance. But valuations also now are coming to be a bit attractive. Between the two of them, I would prefer Exide. Both of them are moving into the newer batteries, but the balance sheet of Exide is pretty strong. And why I prefer it over Amarraja's plans for expansion is huge in terms of the investment that they are planning. So in terms of balance sheet quality, for the longer term, I would prefer Exide.
That's the take coming in as far as the pecking order is concerned when it comes to Exide as well as Amara Raja, and that's Shahina's take on it. The next one that we actually have, Hemen, is coming in from C. Ganesh, who's writing to us from Bengaluru about Hindustan Copper, wants to know about the 1,000 shares that he's holding on to. Buy price was 230 rupees thereabout, wants to know if he should be accumulating. He can hold on for another 1 year, so that's what he's also mentioned.
Looks good, Shriyanti. And if I remember correctly, I think US copper futures at all-time highs yesterday. Hindustan Copper deeply oversold, downside appears limited. We've had a multi-month correction. The stock came up from 410 to sub 200, became half. Nothing much to lose, deeply oversold. Like I said, metals look good. The international copper looks good, and our NSE and BSE both metal index looks good. So I believe hold on to Hindustan Copper. Yes, it takes time. It's a PSU. It doesn't move that dynamic. It remains an FNO ban for a long time, impacting its more, but hold.
Okay, that's the technical take coming in on Hindustan Copper. China, coming to you. Our viewer, Miss Sally Devi, is writing to us from Kerala, and she's asking about Birlasoft and your view on the company. Fundamentally, how is this company looking to you?
This correction that we've seen is looking attractive. Of course, the overall lighting segment is seeing some bit of softness in terms of demand in the US market, and especially the overhang in terms of the visa issues. You have also in terms of tariffs. But at the same time, I think Birlasoft is well on its way to reach the $1 billion of revenues. So I would say it's a hold in Birlasoft.
Birlasoft then is concerned, the next one that we actually have is coming in from Sudha. She's writing to us about 2 counters. In fact, she wants to know 3 counters, in fact, because she wants to know about Dr. Reddy Labs. 100 shares, buy price is 1,330 rupees, and also wants to know about Havells, if she should also be moving some of these funds, booking profits and moving it to Havells as well. And Triveni Turbine for a 2-year perspective. What do you have in mind for all 3 of these counters then?
Dr. Reddy has walked into a correction of a greater degree after tripling in the last 7 years. So I think it's going to take time to play out. So one can probably, I won't say disregard, but don't expect anything much as far as Dr. Reddy's is concerned from maybe a year or 2 point of view. In terms of Triveni Turbine, I think one gets a feeling that we are in a longer term uptrend. We walked into a correction of a greater degree, like most of the market has. Very strong support at 440, 460, nothing much to lose. So holding on to Triveni Turbine from a 2-year point of view, it would make sense, but you don't. I think the investor should not expect a new high in this calendar year. And as far as Havells is concerned, it's tired. We've had a beautiful move in Havells probably over the last 17, 18 years. And now we've slipped into a corrective phase. So short to medium term, not much to lose. Bounce is there. As an investor, I would not advise trading, but you can buy Havells over here, sell it to 300 points higher. But I'm not sure if it makes sense to shift from Dr. Reddy to Havells. I believe even something like an Reliance or something like that would make sense instead of shifting to Havells from Dr. Reddy.
Okay, so be safe and shift to Reliance if at all you want to shift. That's the answer coming in from Hemen. Shahina, coming to you, we have our viewers. Yes, Mr. Rajiv, who's writing to us from Pune. He holds 91 shares of Sun Pharma. He's currently sitting at a very good 80% profit on his holding. But his query is that the tariff war is causing tension on the back of this. Should he sell his entire holding, or are you not expecting a lot of momentum on the back of this tariff by Trump? And do you believe that he should continue to hold the stock?
To hold the stock, basically, I think in pharmaceuticals, while tariffs and what exactly it will, how it will pan out is an issue. But I think the pharmaceutical companies, especially Sun Pharma, which has a lot of goods revenues in the US, coming from specialty pharmaceuticals, they are also moving into biologicals. I think to that extent, they will be. It's the US consumer that will have to absorb a lot of it. The API pharma companies are likely to be more impacted. Sun Pharma, I believe, at current levels, you should continue to hold. Do not sell at current levels. You could keep a stop loss if you like. Keep a stop loss close to about 1,600 and hold it for the medium to long.
Take coming in as far as Sun Pharma is concerned, but unfortunately those were all the queries that we could pack for you on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Thank you so much, Hemen, as well as Shahina, for joining us, patiently answering all of those queries. On the other side of that very short break, we'll see you with a special conversation for Women's Wednesday.
Once a trader, always a trader. Whatever label.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.